Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Living. We're on episode 5. How's everybody doing today? I am excited that you are in our group, and I pray that everybody is doing well. So, are you done with your spring cleaning? Do you have any other projects maybe that you're working on? Well, in a few moments, I'm going to be talking to Katrina Green. Katrina is a professional organizer, and she's going to share some tips with us today on how to achieve and maintain an organized home life. And so right now, I know it's been difficult in these last few months, and we all know that life can be challenging, but you are a woman of purpose. And I just invite you to grab a cup of coffee, grab a cup of tea, grab a cup of water or whatever your favorite beverage is, and just relax. Take a moment and just breathe. Do you know how blessed you really are? And I just know that everything is going on and we're having a difficult time deciding what to return to, what to attend to. But right now, just take some time out for yourself today and we just wanted to come on and maybe uplift your spirits during this time and, finding good in the mess. So this is a blessed mess. And I hope you enjoy my time with Katrina. All right. Hi, Katrina.
Hi, Joy. How are you?
I am blessed and highly favored. How are you doing?
Good. Same as
happy to chat with you. You're looking good.
Thank you. And you as well. I love your background.
Oh, thank you. You ready for this triple degree weather? You dressed appropriately.
I know. This is the first time I actually wore a tank top. Like on video, because I was just like, no, it's just too hot. I usually wear like a white uniform that like a polo shirt, but I found out that it's going to be like 103 today. I was just like, yeah, nope, not doing that.
Smart, very smart.
What did you do for Memorial Day?
I rearranged my bedroom, and I'm still okay. So we're just coming off our clutter cleanse, our 30-day clutter cleanse. However, some of us are still working, and I did do my office. I organized my office, and then on Memorial Day, I changed my bedroom around. My husband and I, we changed our room around.
Doesn't it feel good? Like it just like when you start doing something, you're like, I'm gonna rearrange the next room, and then I'm gonna go to the next room.
Yes, it's been really nice because all of April I've been decluttering, purging, and it's just been really cool. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna keep this going. I'm gonna keep going. So yeah, we did a lot of organization in the bedroom. It looks really nice.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, maybe I have to show it off. Okay. Well, I am really excited. Are you ready to dive in?
Yes, I am.
Yes. I just wanted to start with lifting up. I'm just so thankful that God has been protecting us. But I am very thankful, and I just wanted to lift up our healthcare workers.
Yep.
And our first responders. I want to say a special prayer for all our public servants and anyone that's suffering from anxiety, economic hardship, or depression, because right now it can be very hard, can be overwhelming during this time. And so we're just asking God to lift them up, protect them, and we're just so grateful and so thankful. So now, how are you surviving during this time?
So with the COVID thing, I've known about the virus before we did the shutdown. I have family over in the Philippines, so like it was mostly like it was more of like, all right, if it's happening there, it's gonna most likely happen here. So like that's when I started really moving into like being a virtual organizer. I
Mm,
do provide virtual organizing services now, which is kind of cool because at this time, like I was very fortunate to still be able to work, even though like everyone's like being put to a halt. But because I had that laid out even before this thing happened, I had that idea more for the people who aren't in Sacramento.
yeah, yeah,
Wanted it to be more like part of my business is like a part of me wants to also like cater to the people that I grew up with, you know, like in the Philippines. So like I kind of wanted to adjust in that sense where I can still offer my organizing services even without being physically there. So
yeah.
because of that particular system and because of that specific offer, like this has been like it's not as difficult as I thought it would have been,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
Um mentally, emotionally wise, I think in the first month it was really hard, but I think that's always something that when something's new,
yeah.
everyone just has like a difficult time. Like, and it's all up to you. It's like if you're gonna adjust to it or are you gonna fall
Yes.
and not survive through it. And for me, like when this whole thing happened, I made sure I checked on my family, I checked on my husband's family, and like all of the people that I feel like were I needed to like make sure are okay mentally and financially wise. Like once I felt that they're secure and that I've all right, I've done my job, that's when I started seeing, okay, I need to focus more on the business. So
Right.
like that was when that's like more of the transition that I had during COVID.
Oh, okay. But
Yeah.
yeah, being a coach of any kind, professional organizer or, success coach is mind, body, and spirit. It's the
Right.
whole thing. That
I agree with you because like if I didn't do that, if I didn't take care of because it's essentially taking care of myself first because like I get stressed out when the people that I care about are I'm worried about the people that I care about, like that stresses me out. Like
yeah,
when I finally did that, it's like okay, you can focus on yourself now
good.
and
Yeah,
helping other people. You know, like what you say, you have to be full in order to educate others. And you're right.
that's right. Yeah, so tell me a little bit about your background and what made you decide to be a professional organizer?
Yeah. So I've been an immigrant for about 4 years now. Um, my background really is focused in interior design, and it started when I graduated in 2011, and that was back in the Philippines. Um, from there, I dabbled into visual merchandising, brand development, and then I was a creative associate. So I was able to do residential and commercial. I was able to design residential and commercial spaces. So
Oh,
from all of that background, a lot of my closest friends actually knew about this about me when back in 2014 I really wanted to start an organizing business. What hindered me from doing that is it when I was in the Philippines it just didn't match the market because
mm,
we have helpers, so like it's not really something that a lot of Filipinos worry about, like having a cluttered state because someone is like and magically just like it's tidied up for them and it's not even like an upper class thing. It's more every like even if you're in the middle class or you're like in the upper class, like it's just more of the culture that we employ help.
mhm.
um and from there, so I moved here in 2016 still having that like that dream of mine. I still wanted to be a home organizer, and I still wanted to help people get organized. So in 2016, when I was waiting for my working permit, i I was like, okay, I'm going to start a blog about DIYing, organizing, the things I love, and eco-friendly cleaning and stuff like that. And then that's when I birthed Badass Home Life.
Oh,
So it
okay.
wasn't like when I started Badass Home Life, it wasn't really like I'm going to be a professional organizer. This is what I'm going to do. It was a very organic way. So when I started the blog in 2016, I was employed eventually, but I just didn't like it. It just wasn't where my heart was at. But then during all that time too, a lot of my friends, the people that I met here, were asking help to decorate their homes and style their homes and stuff like that. And that's when I was just like, I think I should really go for this. I think that here, I think it's ready. I think the market in the United States is ready for home organizing. And this was back in 2016. And bless his heart, my husband, he is my greatest supporter. He was the one who said, like, you know what? I am going to say yes. Like, don't worry about this. Just go for it. And then I know you'll be good. And I was just so scared. Like, there's a part of me saying, but what if it doesn't work? Or what if it, like, like as any business owner goes through, I think we all go through that when you're an entrepreneur, like there's a part of you that doubts yourself. And then like, what if like we don't make it,
What if I fail?
Right.
What if you fly?
Exactly. So fast forward to 2017, I filed for an LLC. I trademarked Badass Oh My for home organizing. And ever since then, I've been helping people get organized. So it's been really fun.
See, you saw a need. You already was passionate. You had your vision. Yeah, you set some goals and you just went for it.
Yeah.
And now you are an entrepreneur. Really good. So why should we hire a professional organizer? Because you already see a need over here in the United States. It's a lot of us that have that need.
So whenever I do booths, because I do expos and like it's one more way for me to like educate people as to like why they should hire an organizer. I actually have this board behind me with like the things that's on there, but I will just reiterate what the 5 things on why you should hire an organizer. Okay. So the first one is if you're overwhelmed with your stuff. That already in itself is a reason why you should hire an organizer. I think that having an organizer or just a different set of voice to tell you that, or to ask you questions, not more telling you what to do. It's more to ask you questions on like, why are you keeping this? Is there another part? Is there one more of the, like, do you have one more than one of this? Like those kind of questions that you don't normally ask yourself when you're overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. But having a guide there is a good thing, right? Yeah. And then, so the second one is you never have time. I think everyone can agree. On this.
Yeah, I'll do it later. Yeah, and then it piles up.
Exactly. And like, that's what happens. It accumulates. And I have this favorite quote by Benjamin Franklin, and it goes as, for every minute spent organizing, you gain an hour is earned. Mm. So it's almost like if you don't have the time, imagine yourself like in the 24 hours that you have just stressed out with the clutter that you are within. Like this is your home, like this is something that you should be taking care of. If you just allot 1 hour, and it doesn't even have, because like usually my sessions are 3 hours. If you give me like an hour to spend time with you, learn what your habits are, learn how you go about your day. And I think I mentioned this to you before, where like my program isn't like a cookie cutter program where I'm just going to tell you where to do this, where to put this and that. It's more of like, I want to learn how your daily is, and then we'll guide your space to how you're going to do it.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, you kind of walk through, observe, and kind of see how the person operates on a daily basis. Oh, okay.
That's right. So you make adjustments in that sense too. And if you just give me that 1 hour, like I've experienced so many clients where on the second and onward sessions, they just give me the keys to their homes and they're like, just go do what you need to do. For as long as like I've like, and that also comes with like, they've trusted me that like, I'm not going to do anything. And at the same time that they trust what I'm going to place as a system for them, because we've spent enough time to for them to tell me what they need. Yeah.
You've built the relationship.
Right. So that's important. And I think for anybody, whether it's me that you're going to hire as an organizer, or if you're not in this state, or wherever, if you're choosing to hire a professional organizer, I think it's very important to be comfortable with that person. Like we are not here to to judge nor to just tell you what to do. It's more to just guide you and help you throughout your clutter, you know?
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, not to judge, because a lot of people may be hesitant,
Mhm.
to hire someone because they may feel that you're going to judge them.
Right.
Yeah, so that's really good.
That's why like I always make sure like on the first initial consultation, and even through my website and even through my Instagram where I frequently put my stuff in, I always say that like this is a no judge zone. Like
No,
I will never judge you with the things that you own, nor will I judge you with the things that you would want to keep. It's more of like what is healthy for you. What do you think is going to take you to a better part of your life, you know?
yeah. What frustrates you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Because
really good.
it does get stressful for a lot of clients, especially the decluttering process. But that's the reality of it. Like it's conquering your fears is always stressful,
Oh,
right?
that's really good. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not really like it's not fun until you're done. It's
Oh,
like
I like that.
yeah, you go through it, and then that's when it can start like remember when I can't get rid of those things, and then that's when you start seeing that like okay that was silly that I was keeping
Yeah.
that, and then you just laugh at it, and then it is just like when you think about it, it's just stuff. At the end
Yeah,
of the day, it's just stuff.
yeah, yeah.
And then the third one is so I say I wasn't born organized. And I've said this many times that being organized is a skill. It's the same thing as wanting to learn how to play a guitar. You can be a beginner, you can be an intermediate, and you can be an expert. It's a matter of being able to allot time to hone that skill. But if you are feeling that like I just wasn't born organized, then that's the perfect time to hire an organizer, because we are just like educators to help you and guide you to be more organized. It's not so much that we're not gonna magically make it like
Right.
like that's done like magic. Like you still have to make that effort to put these things back into place and learning the system that the professional organizer is going to give you.
Yeah. Yeah, I like what you
Yeah.
said. Yeah, you're teaching them
Right.
how to do it.
Thank you. And then the fourth one is I don't finish things that I started. So that's another reason why you should hire an organizer. So I've researched about this, and then there's this thing called next step paralysis, where like people they start a project, and for some reason you just can't get after, like you just can't go further. It's almost like I don't know what to do next. Like you don't know. There's almost not a plan. So it's the same thing with number three is that like if you feel like your skills in being organized isn't up to par as to like what you want your space to look like, then that's the time where we can step in and then guide you and help you and help you figure out like what system will work for you, instead of mulling over like okay I can't get through this. And I
Mhm.
can see that I've seen that a lot too, where like you start off with a project and then you just happen to start a really big project rather than a smaller one, then you're just like I can't finish it. I can't finish it. So that's when we step in. That's where we help you, guide you. And then the fifth one, and I think this is the more prominent one with my clients, is you are going through a transition period. So it could be whether you're just got through a divorce, kids moving in or moving back in or moving out of your home. Then you have more like then that means there's more space for you to organize, or there's less space because somebody's moving in. All
Yeah.
these transition periods can lead a life-changing event. It could even be death, like I've dealt with that too, where um they can't open boxes that were once their husbands, and
Memory.
that's like
Yeah.
hard to go through. Like if you don't go to therapy, like if I think that's also go hand in hand with like organizing. Like therapy is also it's very good, but like if you can't afford those things and you need to physically really do something, it's good to have like a professional organizer walk you through it instead of having to go through that by yourself.
Yeah. And that's really good too, because you can kind of build a relationship, a
Mhm.
trust, maybe even a friendship.
Oh,
Just someone,
absolutely.
yeah, someone you can kind of talk to. You're more than just a professional organizer. You might be, we're not therapists, but just being there to just kind of say, it's okay.
I mean, I have a bunch of clients that I know that are my friends now
Mm,
because of I feel like because of the experience that you shared with them, and I've had brunches with them, like yeah, and I think you're right. Like it is for me, my goal is I'll never say that I'm a therapist. I'll never say that like
right.
I'm gonna help you mentally, but I am here as a friend. I'm here for you to vent or when something gets really rough, like what I mentioned, like opening boxes of a dead loved one, yeah, like or stuff like that, or even like a hurtful divorce.
Hmm. Hmm.
Those things can really stop you from doing things.
That's right.
Moving forward with just cleaning out your garage. Can you imagine? Like that's just, but that's not even your stuff.
Right.
So it's almost like I am there to just be a lending like a is that what, a lending ear is that how
Yeah,
you
someone to talk to. Yes. Sometimes
someone,
you do want someone to just listen. Yeah.
and once that's done, it's so much easier for them to let go of it, and I think that's so beautiful is to be
Yeah.
part of that and to be actually in the zone for that to like just like what you're saying is that we're just offering like a an ear to listen, an ear that listens to anybody who needs to vent, anybody that needs to air out the emotions that is connected to an item.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
for me, honestly, that's one of my favorite things in
Oh.
the process is because I can't imagine like I'm sure there's so many people out there holding on to things, not, and it's not even the thing that they're holding on to anymore. It's something else.
Yeah.
And once you detach that from what, but if it's like caving on you, like if the items are caving on you, then that's when like you start letting go. And once, and I like being part of that process is because I see how it's almost like a switch when you talk them through it. It's almost
Mhm.
like a switch. You're like, all right, I'm gonna let this go,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then it's like it's so uplifting. Like you can tell that like he's so weak, like it's
Yeah.
weird. So
Yeah.
yeah, that is the 5 reasons why you should hire.
That's really good. It's a community. Yeah. It's friendship. Yeah.
Yeah,
Can you share some tips with us on how we can get started?
yeah,
How can we become more organized?
absolutely. So I will emphasize this over and over again. The first step of organizing is decluttering. This is the opportunity for you to learn what you have in your space, learn what items belong within the space, and learn to remove the things that do not belong in the space. So it's
Mm,
almost like you're going to go through every item. Like I'm sure a lot of people already know who Mary Kondo is and how she does her Netflix show.
yeah. Yes.
My process a little quicker. Like I'm more of like a bam, bam. What are you like? Do we keep this or do we not keep this? So at least like it's quicker. Um, but it is important to form, in a sense, a relationship with your items so you know what you're gonna keep, what they're worth. Does
Mhm.
that make sense? Like it's
Yeah.
that way. Like you're taking out the not important stuff. And actually a fun fact is 20% of the stuff that you own, or the 20% of the things that you own, are the only things that you use on the daily.
Yeah.
80% you don't even touch them like in a year, or like you don't even like touch them. So if you can just like imagine that like those 20% are all you need, then
Yeah.
it will be easier to let go of the things that are cluttering
Yeah.
your life. um
That's really
and
good.
then the next one is, once you've decluttered, which is the important part, is to sort through. So like I'll give you an example of what I did very recently. I have here my art stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like sorted by item,
Yes.
um and then labeling everything. And I use like I recycled a lot of stuff. Like this isn't even like things that I purchased. Like these are things that are have just been in my house. And then so like the important thing is like labeling and then sorting through them. So if I push this back, there's like pens, and at the bottom there's like the watercolor stuff, and then so that's where so it's declutter, sort, and then once you've done that, that's when you can start buying your containers.
Okay.
I urge you not to buy containers, and I know how awesome the container store is. I love that store, but you have to know first what you're going to put in the containers.
Right. A plan of attack. You need a plan.
Right, exactly. So
Okay.
declutter, sort, then organize.
Okay. That's good.
And that's it. I think those 3 steps, once you've done the decluttering process, I think everything is just going to go smoothly. And then once you sort things, it'll be easier for you to keep and attain that organizing system if you sort things.
Okay. Okay.
And then containerize. Containerizing is everything, because that way, if for example, like you see your floor super cluttered right now, right? And if it's just clothes everywhere, get a bin, like get a big hamper, and then it's just easier than clutter immediately done. You know, it's just containerizing everything, making sure that there are systems in place, making sure that you are using let's say, for example, you have a small space, use your vertical space. Don't just like think outside of the box in that sense, where like you go higher instead of just like laying out your stuff on your floor space. Go higher, maybe put some shelves.
Yeah.
Like you're not just putting it on the floor.
That's really good. Okay. And you walk through that process with them where you can kind of say, oh, you can put some stuff up. You can go vertical. Okay.
Yeah. So before I actually execute anything during my consultation, you tell me what you're cool with, what you're not cool with, and then the things that like you feel like if you were to imagine your dream space, what would it look like? So like I put that and I incorporate that. So if it's not your style to put things on the wall, I won't put things on your wall. But if it's like a very small space that you do have to use your vertical space, and that's when I start assessing like, what about this? And then I give options as well when I do my yeah. They're not just like stuck with like, this is what you got to do. That's what I guess, like that's what I'm saying with, I'm never going to just decide for you. I don't think that's like going to go healthy in the long run.
Right.
I think it's important to like always have the client choose for themselves, because at the end of the day, they're going to be the ones staying in that space and loving that space for themselves.
That's right. It needs to work with them.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Because like you can, for me at least, like I've read a lot of organizing books, and that's where I learned how to be organized, but they all have their cookie cutter forms, right? There's always like a 3-step method, or there's these are the things that you need to do first before this and that. So like those are really good guidelines, but at the end of the day, it's still totally up to the person which system works for them.
Okay.
So that's where I come in, is that like because I read all those, I present to you like which one do you like the most? Like which one, or I even also help, I also help in that process where like, okay, I think this will fit more for your lifestyle than this kind of organizing.
Okay.
Yes. So the last one that I suggest is like what I said, it's like, don't buy things first. Declutter before buying, because it's counterproductive if you buy more stuff before getting rid of stuff.
Okay. So now we've done our plan of attack, and you've done your consultation and walked your clients through. How do you keep working with them, like monthly, or how do you help them maintain, or do they just call you as needed, or how does that process work?
So when I see that like it needs more, I do check on them. I do
Oh,
have a check on them every after a session. I check on them after a couple of months just to check in. Not to really pry too much. It's like, how are you doing? More of like, hey, can I check on you? Can I see what it looks like now? And then if they do require more, then that's when we start scheduling another session.
I see.
But so far, I haven't really had to go back to other people's houses.
All right,
And
you
that's a
go,
good
girl.
thing, right?
So, what is like a typical time frame of, from the initial consultation to when you're saying, okay, you got this?
Okay, so it always starts with a 30-minute free consultation. This is where I get the feel of the client, whether they like me or not. And it's the same thing for me. Like it has to be it has to be that. Like that's the most important part. Like we want to work together.
Right.
Then from there we schedule, well, it depends on the type of organizing. So for virtual organizing, the virtual organizing I offer to people who can do it hands-on. So they just need a plan, the execution plan, and then they're the ones doing it for themselves. That would only take us 3 1-hour sessions.
Mm.
So we break it into 3 sessions. So 1 hour of Zoom. And then I advise them to do at least, but to block 4 hours, including the 1 hour with me on that day. That way, because like I do give homework after. So in 3 sessions, you could probably, virtual organizing, you can clean out a craft room, a bedroom, a storage room. For bigger projects, it's like garage and then kitchen pantries. If it's like a big kitchen pantry, I would suggest maybe 5 hours instead of the 3 sessions for the kitchen, for the virtual organizing. As for the physical one, it takes me about 2 3 hour sessions. So 6 hours to do a smaller one. So that would mean, or like 4 hours for, let's say, a bathroom, including like the bottom of the stairs, like storage spaces like that. That would take me about like 4 hours. But bigger projects like garages and then the whole entire house would take me about like in the range of 8 to 15 hours.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. And so you guys would work on that part together, whoever
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
working with.
So it all depends again, like when I say that, like I base it off on like the availability of the person, the type of who is involved in the project, like whether it's going to be a husband and wife or the kids are going to be involved, like that all depends. I wish I could say that like the hours are concrete, but I do promise that like I always work very efficiently. Like there is no wasted minute or hour with me. It is more of, when it comes to the hour part, it's the decluttering process really is the hardest one.
Yeah.
If that
Yeah.
takes longer, the only reason why that'll take longer is because of the client's decision making. But I do like that though, that when there are more than one person involved, it's good to have me as a middleman, because that way
Mm.
the conflict or the tension, like for an example, like a husband and wife, like it's so much easier to have a professional organizer be a mediator when it comes to getting rid of things, because I'm going to hear both of you out. And since I don't have any attachments to the things that you guys are arguing about, then it's a more logical process.
Oh my goodness. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, because I I have seen so many people say like, you just saved the marriage. Like, wow, that's really cool. Because if you really, really like, even with my own personal family background, I think that like material possessions can really have strains in relationships. I truly think that like and I think that's also one of the things. So I push to be a professional organizer, because it's not just stuff. I mean, I said that in the beginning that like it's just stuff, but with a person who's dealing with clutter, sometimes it's not just stuff to them.
They're emotionally attached. Yeah.
So it's a lot harder to say, like, let's say for husband and wife, it's like, why are you keeping all those shirts? It's still an argument as to having a middleman and having a logical reasoning. If you could argue to me why we're keeping this, and the person that I'm with starts to, or the other person that they initially argued with,
Yeah.
can make more sense as to like why they're keeping it, or the other way around, or like being able to convince. Basically, it's like a having a mediator.
Mm-hmm.
There's more logical reasoning behind why they're doing it
Right, right.
than just an argument between a husband and wife as to like why are we doing this, because it can change, like again, like it could stress the relationship out, and you don't want that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it makes sense. Now, with the Zoom, you mentioned Zoom. I guess it's really been good for you to keep even your local clients.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Absolutely, yeah. I've well, so with me too, even the what I'm really, really happy with when it comes to Zoom is that like I was able to cater out of Sacramento.
right, right.
I've been talking to people who are based in Oakland or based in Washington. And it's cool because I could also even do that if I wanted, if the Philippine market is ready. Like I could essentially do that same thing. Like it's just more of a time zone change.
Yeah, yeah.
But it has been so helpful, and it has helped me still be in business. And I think a lot of the coaches, that's what you said, if you're in the coaching business, if you're coaching business, this is such a powerful tool to
Yes.
just really use, because it's really just translating yourself in a manner of like, and I know it's a little difficult to just like be on a screen, and a lot of people are camera shy and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
that's true. Yeah.
But once you get that out of your system as it being, it's a camera,
Hmm.
and you're really just talking like kind of like what we're doing right now, like we
Yeah,
would also
yeah.
have this conversation in real life.
So would you like maybe just talk to them on the phone and prep them to get them ready to be on the camera?
On that first 30-minute consultation, I basically asked them after the conversation to send me photos of the space that we're going to be working on. And then after the photos, I asked them to, can you do a video walkthrough? So from then, that's when I start gauging as to like how comfortable they really are with talking on the camera and stuff like that. So, and at this point, like I feel like it's like it's almost like a blessing that like everyone's like now on Zoom, you know? Because
Yeah.
like I've known about Zoom forever, but I never really used it as much as I have now.
Yeah. So this would be our first one on our Facebook group and on our YouTube channel and on our website.
Well, I'm excited for you because it's a good background, and I think this is such a good, if you were to get somebody who is also not from Sacramento and you want to highlight them because their services are available, even if they're like in Chicago or if they're like in New Orleans, who knows,
Yes,
you
yes.
can use this.
Yes, and I've been so excited. I've been talking to my aunt. I'm trying to get her to come. Now I may have to go back to just the still picture when it comes to her because she does have a phone, but she still has a flip phone. And so we may have to, step back just to talk to her. But I'm just excited, yeah, to talk to you today. So as we wrap up, is there anything else that you would like to tell us or like to share?
Yeah. So I am a practicing minimalist. I
Oh,
do not expect people to be minimalists. When I say I'm a minimalist, is I make sure that the items that I have at home are not just being used like in a year, or these are things that are really of value to me, and that I know exactly what's in a cabinet. I know exactly where to, if I were to say, or if you were to ask me like, hey Kat, where can I get this and that? Like I know exactly where they are and they're labeled. So it's like a mix of being a minimalist and organized. So I guess what I'm saying is like I urge people, if you are still in quarantine, if you are still doing the stay at home order, I urge you to really take a look at your space right now. Are you happy with it? And if you're not, is there something that you can change? Is there something that you can take out or give to somebody else? Because for me, when you take care of your space, you take care of yourself.
That's right. Oh,
And that
that's big.
less is definite with less stuff. There's so much more time for non-tangible things. You know, like there's so much more time that if you were like, let's say an example would be like if you have a very cluttered home and you're afraid of getting people or having people over, why not like let's get that clutter out
Mm.
so you can have people over and you have more memories that you can keep, not just like, you know, just a house. So yeah, that's pretty much my closing thoughts on this.
Okay, so is that like a next step from after you're done with your client? Do you suggest that? Is that like a whole nother little program that you put together to
Um,
like know where everything is
you
at?
might give me like a business suggestion just now. You're just giving.
All right now, okay, I'll take a couple,
Royalty.
10%. No.
Well, it's more when I think I don't want to impose. So I don't really have that laid out like, oh, you want to be a minimalist, like here, but more when it comes to the things that I advocate for on my social media or just for in general, this is something that I do advocate for. And that's basically like seeing life in a different way, like that less is more, and that it's not just about stuff. Um, not you can have all the expensive things, but that won't make you happy. That kind of thing.
Oh,
It
yeah.
just won't. It really won't. Like I'm already like it just. I think a part of me like that's a part of my childhood as well. Like I feel like I was raised pretty privileged in a sense, like back in the Philippines, but when we lost everything at one point, it felt like why am I feeling so um like why do I feel like I lost my identity
Yeah.
from, you
Yeah.
know, like that expensive lifestyle and all of those things. But then when I started learning that like yeah, that's because that's not your identity. That is not where you should be basing your identity on. That's when I really started learning that like, oh my gosh, what have I been worrying about? Why
Yeah.
am I worrying to buy all these things, you know? So just keeping things small. Like I have a less than 100, not even 100, let's say 60 pieces of clothing that I own.
Wow.
I don't ever really shop in like brand new. I buy secondhand clothing. Like
Yeah.
it's a matter of that. I think that's what it is. It's more because minimalism is you can have the extreme ones, like the minimalist podcast that I listen to. They really have no things. Like they can have it's almost like they choose not to, and that's cool. But I don't think that's very attainable for me because I have a lot of clean or kitchen products. Like I have a mixer, I have a blender. You know, like
Yeah.
I I I I have so much stuff in my kitchen, but I use them.
But don't you feel like everybody, I think we all can be that with certain things.
Right.
You know,
Yes.
like some people collect, like I collect coffee cups,
Right.
you know, and so but I think like clothes, maybe a lot of people don't care about clothes. So I think
Right.
maybe I think I'm a selective, you know.
Right. Right. And I think that's cool. I think that's really good to have. I think that's where my closing thoughts were going is that like if you could limit or check yourself, I guess like that's more of like you have to regularly check. It's like, do I have too much stuff? And if it's more of like, yeah, cat, you have too much stuff, and that's when you start lessening and lessening, because it will be I don't know, for me it's just such a powerful thing to do is to not really have if for example me and my husband, if we were to move out of this house,
Mhm.
we could rent like maybe one U-Haul and we're good. Like you know. Of course like the furniture will get you know what I mean, like
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's just it I'm glad that he also subscribed to the same ideals.
You're
We're
blessed.
just really, yeah, we're in the same mindset of like not really owning a lot of stuff. We we really don't own a lot of stuff. I think that's where it just boils down to. And then when if we do, it's because we really have to have that. It's
Right.
because we use it on the daily, and it's because we go camping, and we use those things. It's more of that.
Yeah. Well, I'm really excited too because I told you I was writing the book. This mess is blessed. and I think what you're kind of getting at is a housekeeping mission statement. And I think if you start there, it helps. It's especially if you do it as a family.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. And so my husband and I, we downsized. We were in a 2-story and we downsized and we're in a 1-story. And so it is a process.
Right.
It's a process. We have the big walk-in closet. Even though we still have a walk-in closet, I have the walk-in closet. He has a smaller closet. But it is a process.
Right.
And so that was one thing I did in April. I blogged for 30 days and it really, really helped me. And then I was able to put it into a book.
Right.
And I'll be offering it to others because it's a process like parting with clothes.
Mm-hmm.
But I realized the same as you, I really do not wear all those clothes, especially living here in Sacramento area. I really do not wear a lot of clothes, now I just don't.
Right. And then there's no reason for, I think we've talked about this before this session, is that stuff has energy in them. They do contain energy. And if you allow that specific item to be in your home, then that energy could easily be yours. But instead it's in that piece of clothing.
Wow.
So why not just take that? Because it is such a, I don't know. The way that I see my home, I never want to leave because I love it so much. And I want people to get to that point where like even this isolation thing, like it's really not as hard for us because we love being at home anyway. So we don't really go out anyway. And it's because we've put the effort to make this home somewhere where we want to be in every day. And that's my hope for everybody is to like have your home something that you love, where it's where you recuperate, where you are able to re-energize after a very long day, and it's not the opposite where you're stressing over it.
Yes. And see, you're able to detect that when you're talking to someone because your home should be your sanctuary.
Right. That's the word that I'm looking for, sanctuary. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
It all starts at home. We all learned that.
You like with your journey, as you said, that like when you started in April, and then here you are, like come May, you're talking about reorganizing another part of you rearranged your bedroom. Because it's just like, all right, let's keep the wheel going. And then you're just at the end of that all, you just feel so much lighter.
Oh man, you feel so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like you have a new love for this room now.
Yes. Oh, that's good. That's really good. See, and that's what you do.
I know. I love that.
I mean, I can just see you walking away, just feeling good. You help families enjoy their space, possibly couples getting along.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And so, I bet you have a lot of testimonies, maybe like on your website.
I do have them on my website, yes.
How can we find you?
So I have
know how to find you.
So right now I am offering virtual organizing services through Zoom. And the way that you can do a consult with me is to go through my website, and it is badasshomelife.com. You can send me an email on my contact page, or you can easily also connect with me through Instagram. You can shoot me a DM. My Instagram is also Badass Home Life. I am also on Facebook as Badass Home Life LLC. And you can email me at katrina@badasshomelife.com.
Yes, and we will put some of those links in this video. Yes. And she's also in our Facebook group. And so make sure you be friends with Katrina. So this concludes episode 5 of Living. I hope you guys enjoyed my time with Katrina. And I will leave a link in this video so that if you want to follow Katrina on Instagram or Facebook, she would love to have you. Or if you need to hire a professional organizer, that would be awesome. And also, I wanted to let you guys know that I got done with one of my books that I was telling you about. And this is called This Mess is Blessed. And this is a book where it will help you tidy up. You can also write down your thoughts and your ideas, and you can declutter in 30 days. And this is my first book that I released that's in all color. And so there's articles in here that I talk about on decluttering and getting organized. And then there's a place for you to jot down your thoughts and ideas. And like I said, it's really nice. It's a place for you to doodle or draw in here. And it's 101 pages. And so I'm really excited. It's really nice. Makes a good gift. Or you can use it yourself. Get a couple copies. When you purchase products from us and attend our events, it helps us buy school supplies for local area teachers. So I just thank you for taking the time to be kind. So you can pick this up. Either I'll leave a link in this video, or you can go to our website, equiptosoar.com, go to the tools and resources page. So I'm really excited. Woo! I got something done. And so I'm really excited about this book. This Mess is Blessed. All right. So that's all that we have. And we hope to see you on next time on Living. Bye-bye.